from my heart. Put it on the right track. Put it on the right track. Message from my heart. Message from my heart. Put it on the right track. Put it on the right track. Message from my heart. Message from my heart. Put it on the right track. Put it on the right track. Message from my heart. Message from my heart.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Daily Grind Fantasy official live stream for this NBA 10-game slate. TJ, you look like a ghost. I don't think I can fix that.
I am a ghost, Matt. It's
yeah,
it's the TJ of the past. It's the it's the ghost of NBA past.
That's the best you could come up with. All right.
I'm the ghost of NBA past.
All right. Well, here it is, guys. This is the official 10-game live stream. Thank you for tuning in.
Staring at me? I knew it. You were staring at me at the beginning.
Yeah, I was hiding by my mic.
You cleared your throat, so that's why I knew to.
Yeah, I know. That's usually my cue to go.
But we should start high-fiving each other.
We should.
High five. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that was actually pretty good. Kind of.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, we have a lot of slate-breaking injury news, my favorite saying, and we are not drinking, TJ, so this might be a little bit laid back. We have some breaking injury news from the Nets. We have some from Utah. We're going to focus on here bright and early, and we'll also be covering some chalk that we already know about. We're also pending a lot of injury news, so you guys are going to want to stay all the way through this live stream. Yesterday, I already had some people.
We just got some news, Matt. Capella and Reddish are good to go. Reggie Bullock's out. Sorry, keep going.
Reggie Bullock is out. That doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, it just affects like Burks, but yeah.
I also had some people roasting me in the comments on this YouTube or in our YouTube video saying that I said that Kuzma was one of my worst favorite plays. That wasn't true at all. That was actually the exact opposite. You guys stayed all the way through the stream. Yeah, we're all over him.
And we were like, yeah, no, he's a lock for cash.
Did you get a Top Shots pack? Yeah, we absolutely did. We actually were lucky enough to get 2 of them so far. I believe they keep coming in through the emails. So me and TJ will both be doing a pack opening sometime this weekend. We'll make it happen.
We might have gotten like 97 combined because I literally hit process. I don't know, nothing short of 42 times. So yeah. I might have 42 packs. I'm not sure. But we at least got
42
one.
or 1.
Confirm. We each got 1. Yeah, 42 or 1, somewhere in that range.
All right, let's go ahead and get back on track. We're gonna start out here by going straight to Brooklyn because we have Durant officially out for them. Dinwiddie, Claxton, and is it Pell or Pelly? What's his last name?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're right. It's irrelevant. All right, let's go ahead and start with Brooklyn, TJ. Right now, in terms of ownership, we have Bruce Brown, very highest owned here, 35.4%. We have Kyrie Irving at an 8.7K price tag, 23.8% owned, a 6.8 point per dollar value on their sheet. James Harden also 19.3%. TJ, who's your favorite play?
It is going to be the man I hate the most, Kyrie Irving at 8,700. Matt is going to be a cash lock for me, projected at 36 minutes against OKC. He gets a 12.5% usage bump with KD off the floor. Now, mind you, he hasn't had a game with just him and James Harden where KD's been off the floor, obviously. So that usage rate is a little skewed. 1.55 fantasy point per minute in KD's absence as well. 41% usage rate, which we know won't carry through because of James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
But I still expect that usage rate to be anywhere from 33 to 38% tonight.
Right.
So I do like Kyrie, especially at that price tag. a lot of people are liking Bruce Brown. I understand it at 3K at the
Mm-hmm.
bare minimum, Matt. He gets a 2.5% usage bump with KD off the floor. But again, this is
Sure
with
does.
Harden not being in the picture.
Right.
So I think we need to take that in consideration here a little bit. TLC is also interesting at 3K, projected for 25 minutes. So I don't hate landing on either of those guys at 3K because they are the bare minimum. I don't think I'm going to go there in cash, but if you do want to land on one of them, like I don't hate it. I want to see the starting lineup. Obviously, I project it to be, and as RotoWire does, Kyrie, James Harden, Joe Harris, Jeff Green, and DJ. That makes sense.
It does. Yeah.
So yeah, I would expect Bruce Brown and TLC to come off the bench. I think one of them can easily go for 22 to 25 DraftKings points as long as they knock down some shots.
Right.
But for me in cash, Matt, Kyrie is a lock. James Harden, if you're landing there, sure. I have a build where I unfortunately won't be getting to Harden, but I do like him at 10-3. I think there's a lot of value here with KD off the floor. It's a 35% usage rate
Absolutely.
guy that is out. So yeah, there's a lot of good value here, whether you're looking for double ups or for tournaments.
This reminds me of last night with the Lakers. We have two bottom of the barrel price tags in Markieff Morris and also Marcus Gasol. One of those two had to have a ceiling game, right? Well, it was Marcus Gasol, and the other did not. I did end up playing both those guys in my single entry, and because of it, we had Markieff Morris around 56% ownership, at least in the GPP that I was in. Marcus Gasol was virtually unowned, pushed me above in cash. So strategy worked. So doing that again with the Nets, I don't hate TJ, Bruce Brown, and TLC. Like, those guys are going to be playing close to starter minutes, and you're looking at a complete difference in ownership. We have 18.7% ownership on TLC, and with Bruce Brown, we have 35.4%. So I don't hate stacking the Nets whatsoever. You can get away with Bruce Brown, Kyrie, James Harden, and TLC in your lineup in very small GPPs and still take it down. I think you can, especially if it does shoot out. Right now, they're projected at 118.5. Don't hate these guys. What's your opinion on Joe Harris at 5.2K, TJ?
I don't hate Joe Harris. I think that's a really low price tag. But again, Matt, I am going to be a little weary here just because we haven't seen Harden in the mix with these guys, right? So if you run a simple court IQ too, and you just take KD off the floor, like the sample sizes are pretty minimal. So I'm going to do this actually real quick. I want to throw on Kyrie and James Harden and see what we have.
Okay.
And I'm going to take KD off the floor. So if we look at just Harden and Kyrie on the floor together, we only have a 28-minute sample size, and it's dominated by Kyrie.
Yeah.
So it's yet to be unseen. I would take some chances on these guys for sure. I mean, Joe Harris in a high over-under. We like spot shooters, a guy that can catch and shoot. It's going to have those opportunities tonight with KD off the floor and, Kyrie and James Harden with, driving kicks. So, yeah, I don't hate him, Matt. I'm not going there in cash. Tournament play for sure. He's showing 1% ownership over here on Roto, so I could get behind that for tournaments.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving and James Harden, we're going to get a ton of questions here. I already know it for the people who are coming in very late. James Harden has not taken as many shots as we're used to seeing him take, at least in Houston. Kyrie Irving's done the exact opposite. His floor is 17 shots a game, at least so far when he's been playing with both Kevin Durant and James Harden. So we're going to go with what we know, TJ, and what we know is Kyrie Irving takes a lot of shots, at least with these guys on the floor. 8.7K makes a lot more sense, too. It'd be a lot more confusing if these salaries were flopped. Not saying Kyrie Irving's worth 10.3, but if the price tag was higher on Kyrie Irving, it would definitely make things a lot more difficult. But with him being so cheap, TJ, I think he's the most obvious play, 23.8%. James Harden, more of a GPP play, although I don't hate him for cash. So I will stick to that. All right, let's move on to Utah. Utah playing Dallas. It's going to be about an average spot for these guys. Right now, they are without Donovan Mitchell, TJ. So I know you like these guys. I know you like them a lot because we talked about it earlier. Who are you honing in on from the Utah Jazz?
Everybody.
Okay, there's the answer.
Everybody. I love Utah again. We saw it last game against Dallas, get the same exact matchup. With Mitchell off the floor, Matt, all these guys pop. Gobert is a 1.41 fantasy point per minute, 18.6% usage rate, which is something I am not worried about. We saw him go for 66 DraftKings points against Dallas, where I don't expect him to duplicate that effort. At 7,500, I easily think he can pay off this price tag, so I love him in cash. I like Jordan Clarkson again at 6,400. He gets a 2.1% usage bump with Mitchell off the floor, 1.27 fantasy point per minute, and the highest usage rate on the team at 29.7%. I like Mike Conley at 6K, gets a 1% usage bump, 1.14 fantasy point per minute, and the second highest usage on the team at 24.1. Ingles, again, Matt, was the highest owned guy that we saw on the slate at 4,300 2 nights ago. He's now 4,700. So only got a $400 price increase. I expect him to play 30-plus minutes if this game is competitive. Averages 1.05 fantasy point per minute with Mitchell off the floor, 1.3% usage bump. So I love all four of those guys, honestly.
Okay.
I don't hate O'Neal either at 4,600. More of a tournament play for me. But I honestly think with those 4 studs in Gobert, Clarkson, Conley, and Ingles, like you can have any one of those guys in your cash lineup. I'll probably have 3, honestly.
Okay.
On a
Small
large
GPPs.
slate like this.
Smaller.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
In cash.
yes. Did I say
Okay.
tournaments?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I meant cash. In cash, I'll probably roster a minimum of 2 of these guys. Love the matchup again against Dallas. The price tags didn't fluctuate too much from last game, and there's a lot of value to go around with Mitchell off the floor. So I think a lot of these guys are viable tonight.
Okay.
I didn't mention Bogdy either. So
Yeah. What do you think of Bogdy?
I love him as the last piece at 5,400. All these guys are going to carry a lot of ownership. Out of the 5 between Gobert, Clarkson, Conley, Bogdy, and Ingles, Bogdy's going to be my last one out of those 5.
Okay. All right, so I completely agree with everything you just said. The only thing that scares me, and you already know what I'm going to say, is Dallas. It's not the highest pace matchup. I do like Brooklyn in terms of their pace, but I don't hate Utah. 223 is still decently high, at least according to like these other games, Charlotte, Indiana, New York Knicks, and Cleveland. Like, obviously, I'm going to be playing guys from this game over those types of games. But when you're comparing the value, I guess, to the Brooklyn Nets, TJ, who are you higher on? Are you on these Utah guys over the value guys and the Nets over at the Nets?
It's tough to say. Like, obviously, if you have the choice to get some of those value guys for the Nets, it does make sense. But the minutes that the Jazz guys are going to see are all between Gobert, Clarkson, Conley, Ingles, Bogdy, and O'Neal. They're all going to play like 33 plus minutes if this game is competitive. 32 plus minutes.
Right.
I mean, they put up 116 points against Dallas 2 days ago, and literally 4 of the 6 smash value. Gobert, Clarkson, Conley, and Ingles all finished fire.
Right.
So I like them just from a standpoint that the minutes to go around, it's just going to be a really tight rotation. Like we'll see Derek Favors get in there for a little bit, and then Georges Niang will get some minutes as well. But besides that, like it's going to be those 6 guys rotating in. So that's what I really like. And when we look at Brooklyn, yeah, there's some fantastic value with guys like Joe Harris is cheaper, but more so TLC and Bruce Brown. If you're landing on those for cash, I don't hate it because it does allow you to get up for somebody like Harden if you're looking to, or somebody more expensive like Jokic. But for me, I do like a middle type build and just kind of taking Kyrie as it stands.
Right.
Unless we have some more injury news. But that's just my preference. So yeah, I guess for me, yeah, I like Utah a little bit more, even with KD out.
You know, it's funny. You think when you get a superstar like Kevin Durant off the floor, you automatically go straight to the Nets. I don't care who it is. You just think of the usage rate, right? Comparing him to Donovan Mitchell, TJ, it's the exact opposite. Yep. Donovan Mitchell affects these guys so much as far as the bench play and just the overall picture in the starting lineup, whereas Kevin Durant just impacts James Harden and Kyrie Irving. Nobody really else. Right. I mean, nobody gets a significant boost in minutes from that team. So I completely agree with you. I was asking you a rhetorical question. I already know the answer. Yes. Favorite minutes, guys. Joe Ingles is playing 32 minutes. Jordan Clarkson's playing 32. Rudy Gobert's projected at 33. Royce O'Neal, 36. All these guys have significant minutes. When you compare them to the Bruce Browns of the world, 25 minutes. Well, who's going to have the higher ceiling? It's got to be somebody like Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson. Of course, yeah, the salaries aren't the same, but you guys get the point. You're going to want to favor minutes when looking at value. And in terms of lineup construction, like you just said, TJ, definitely a middle-of-the-road type build tonight, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead. Those are the 2 chalk teams in terms of overall value. I'm going to start bouncing around because there's a lot of different individuals I want to get to. A lot of mispricings, TJ, all the way around. Let's go ahead and start with your favorite player. You start in pretty much every single slate, it seems like. Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller at 27.8%. Oh.
Such an asshole.
27 projected minutes. What's your thoughts on Cody Zeller now that he's expected to get 27 to 30 minutes?
Now that I see Cody Zeller playing 27 plus minutes, okay, we talked about this. If Cody Zeller was projected at 22 minutes, I think he was 20 on Roto and 22 on Fantasy.
He was 20. Yep.
So if Cody Zeller was projected at 28 minutes against Indiana, like he would have been 100% 1,000 lock. We had him in our cash core. You were on him, as was I. I just personally didn't play him because you know how stubborn I am.
Mm-hmm.
I still cashed, Matt. So
I know you did.
That. But yes, no. Zeller getting starter minutes. I absolutely love him, obviously, at 4K. If he plays 28 to 30 minutes again, Matt, he's a 1.13 fantasy point per minute. So at 4K, do the math, projected at 28 minutes. I have him pegged for 30.5 DraftKings points. going up against Indiana again. And what I did like to see is that Biz only played 9 minutes. And when Zeller was off the floor and Biz came out and Zeller wasn't ready to go back in, they went to PJ Washington at the 5 and then Zeller came in. So that's good. So that means they're kind of trying to take Biz out of the picture. And when Zeller's not on the floor and they don't want Bismack out there, they put PJ at the 5. So it just makes Cody Zeller's value that much greater. Especially when Sabonis is on the floor. So I really do like Cody Zeller. As long as he can stay out of foul trouble, Matt, I don't see any reason why he can't pay off this price tag. And when we're staying with Charlotte, the price tag on Gordon Hayward is just a slap in the face at $7K. This is the cheapest that we've seen him all year besides opening against Cleveland. He's carrying a lot of ownership. And Matt, on our sheet, Gordon Hayward currently at $7K, projected 38 minutes. He's only a 1.11 fantasy point per minute, highest usage on the team at 25.5 usage. I haven't pegged for 42 DraftKings points. So just seeing that price tag as how cheap he is in the minutes that he is projected and he plays night in and night out for Charlotte, I also like Gordon Hayward in cash.
Okay. Don't want to jump too far ahead, TJ, but this question's going to come up and I already know this. So do you know what I want to do? I want to play a little game with the chat.
Devil's advocate?
No. I don't want to play devil's advocate at all.
Oh, geez,
because I'm actually confused about this because a lot of people are gonna come up to the very end, TJ, about at the very end of their lineup, and they're gonna be looking at $6,800. You ready? At that forward position,
That's
guys.
What I'm saying. Yeah, I know what you're doing. Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
ask me.
Guys, chat. Who's a better play tonight, DeMar DeRozan or Gordon Hayward as a last piece in cash? Let me hear it. I want to hear everybody's honest opinion. DeMar DeRozan or Gordon Hayward? I wish. Do you know what we need to get set up? We need to get set up a chat statistic. What's it called?
Yeah.
What's the word? The poll. Why was I not? Yes, a poll. Yes. We're talking advanced stat.
This guy, man.
We're talking advanced stats, and I can't even think of the simple word poll. Okay.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward or DeMar DeRozan tonight. But yes, let's get back to the Charlotte Hornets. $7K for
6,200. Sheesh. Go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
You said Norman Powell. Yeah, Gordon Hayward at $7,000. I completely agree with you. I think he's very cash viable. 18.2%. Right now he's teetering on that GPP or cash range, which is why I proposed the question to the chat. The chat's gonna know. I'm gonna agree with whatever chat says because they're the best. $7,000. Are you considering anybody else for cash from this team, TJ?
From Charlotte? Oh no, God no.
So no said none. He's not gonna let you have it. Okay, let's move on to the San Antonio Spurs because that's where I'm going next with the bouncing around. DeJounte Murray, TJ, 6.1K, 22.1% just seems crazy. Even as a biased Spurs fan, I just see that from a naked eye. I'm like, wow, you got to plug and play him. DeMar DeRozan, $6,800, 15.9%. The ownership favors Gordon Hayward. Are both of these guys cash viable?
I think so as the last piece if you're going there. I think you're going to see a lot of builds that start with Zeller. They go to Kyrie, then get that Utah chalk, depending on how many guys you get. And then there's fillers, right? You got DeMar, you got DeJounte. I think they're both cash viable. And then you have Hayward. People are going to go to Zion. So I think there's a lot of mid-range, really good value. And Matt, when we're looking at the sheet, those are the two guys that pop. Those are going to be my favorite players from the Spurs. DeMar, just a really cheap price tag at $6,800, 1.16 fantasy point per minute, projected at 34 minutes. It is a tough matchup against Denver, who plays at a slower pace. But with that being said, the Spurs at home, maybe they can dictate that said pace against Denver. So I have DeRozan currently pegged for 39 DraftKings points. And then DeJounte, I have at a 1.11 fantasy point per minute. And I have him pegged at 35.5 DraftKings points. And again, that is a very, very cheap price tag at 6,100.
Yeah.
That is the cheapest he has been all year.
It's a good matchup,
and it is also the cheapest that DeMar has been all year. So some of these price tags, I feel like they do this from time to time. DraftKings does. They just kind of like reset and they're like, let's just mess with everybody's head and just drop everybody's price tag.
Because everybody hates the Spurs. We know it in terms of Pop's rotation. So why not just make it the hardest? Okay.
Right.
I mean, 4 points. Lonnie Walker, 4.1K. Also, like a great GPP option. Why is he so cheap? Playing 30 minutes. Keldon Johnson, 5.7K. LaMarcus Aldridge, 5.5. All these guys are fantastic GPP plays in the pace-up matchup. Aldridge?
Yeah, don't bring up Aldridge.
Okay. I won't. The Spurs, if they can pull off the upset, it's only 4 points. It's the exact same upset they did the other night versus Celtics. So I definitely can see them scoring a lot of points here in this matchup. So great GPP plays all the way around. Toronto, did you say that Powell's out?
No, OG's out.
TJ, check Twitter.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's Sano's telling you to check Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Hornets coach was quoted talking about trying to find PJ Washington more minutes at center.
At center. Ooh.
I don't know if that means less of Biyombo. I mean,
Do you think that would mean more for Zeller?
Zeller was
Well, he's
really
a beast,
good.
yeah. But they still lost.
Floor, so defensively, not all that much. But offensively, he's very good. He's very good on the offensive rebounds too. I don't know if that means, even still, if Zeller plays 25 minutes, like I still do think he's cash viable. So yeah, not too sure what to think about that right now.
Yeah, we'll see if the minutes kind of adjust here. Do you want to move on to Toronto, given the news that we just got?
Yeah, I gotta crunch that.
Yeah, let me do that too, because that's a very high pace matchup.
Baby. We gotta take OG off the floor. Let's see.
That was a nice song.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you? Here we are. Say. Thank you, Sano.
Harris, Anobi, McCaw.
Oh my dude,
that changes everything.
All right, we gotta flip the slate now.
Yeah, that just flipped it completely on its head.
So I'm gonna put Powell to like 36 minutes because the guy's invincible and just plays absurd minutes when somebody's out.
Anobi, why
like 36 plus minutes his last 3
Harris,
games.
McCaw, Harris. Where's Harris? Harris, and McCall. McCall being out just changes everything as well. We're gonna see what that does to the slate here. Van Vliet 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Usage boost goes to Van Vliet. Benbury doesn't matter because he doesn't.
We talked about this last time.
Yep.
Van Vliet, we liked. I mentioned finish fire.
Okay.
That was last game.
You the best. Van Vliet 36 times 1.3 46. Van Vliet 46.8. Boom. 6.2 point per dollar value. Look at that. We the best? All right, Van Vliet's the best. Playing in Sacramento, I think he's going to be close to a lock, TJ. Do you agree with that?
He's really cheap at 7,500. Yeah,
it's the Kings.
I do really like him.
It's the Kings.
Yeah, the Kings are the worst defensive team. What is happening?
What?
Nothing. My
tripping out over there.
Yeah.
40.95. Lowry's a great play.
Powell doesn't. Yeah, Lowry's going to be a pretty good play, Bunyan boy.
0.98.
So Powell doesn't pop on the sheet, but it's just been so evident how well he's played when somebody's been out. I mean, 6,200, 41 points against Milwaukee, a better matchup, obviously, against Sacramento, who is legitimately ranked last defensively in defensive efficiency, and it's not even close. So yeah, Matt, I think that does open up a little bit of value here for Toronto. And we talked about how some of these price tags dropped. Like Van Vliet was just 7,900 against Milwaukee. Now he's 7,500. We had Lowry at 7,500. Now he's 7,100. We had Siakam at 7,900. Now he's 7,300.
Yeah, that's another team. There's one more team I want to talk about a little bit later too that did that exact same thing.
Let's wait for these
minutes.
Let's wait for these minutes to update. Yep. I'm gonna put Van Vliet at like 38, Siakam 38, Lowry 38, Powell 38. And that's it. I mean, those four guys are probably all going to play 38 plus minutes,
I think regardless, you're going to see Van Vliet become one of the more chalkier options on the slate. You're going to have to decide between him or somebody like Kyrie Irving. And no, never mind. Van Vliet plays shooting guard. You're good. All right, let's move on to the Pelicans. The Pelicans just got announced Lonzo Ball in the starting lineup and should be playing full minutes. Good to know because his price tag's very intriguing. And all the price tags came down on these guys. Zion now at 7.6. TJ, this is one thing I don't get. He hasn't been crushing value, but this guy has been so consistent. 39, 43.5, 40, 43. 33 was his only bad game. He's always right there. Hitting value.
This is what he did last year too.
Yeah,
he was just always at value.
Right. In terms of cash, though, I just think he's so safe at a 7.6K price tag. Playing Milwaukee, yes, any team that plays Milwaukee could get blown out, but I don't think this is a game where we're going to see a blowout. Very up pace tick in an up pace game. 230.5 over under, TJ. These guys are projected to score 112 points. Zion, Brandon Ingram, a fantastic GPP play. Steven Adams, even at 5.6K, a great matchup, 30 minutes. Love him. Lonzo Ball now just enters the picture as a really, really good play because he's projected to play in full minutes, TJ. What are your thoughts now on this picture? Are you considering any of these guys in cash?
No. Just
Okay.
tournaments for me, Matt. They are a little bit on the cheaper side, but I'm gonna go with the teams that actually have significant players out, like Brooklyn and like Utah. So I don't have any interest here. People might land on a guy like Zion. I'd rather go down to a guy like Gordon Hayward or DeMar DeRozan tonight.
Okay.
Zion is very safe, that's for sure. But I feel like his ceiling is like 42, and that's like it. He's only eclipsed 50 DraftKings points once this year. And outside of that, he hasn't gone over 45. So as consistent as he's been offensively, he just doesn't really like fill the stat sheet. In terms like when you're talking about DraftKings scoring, like when he does have 30-point games, he doesn't get a lot of rebounds or assists. It's more scoring dependent, honestly. He only has he started off the year 3 for 3 and double double. Since then, he only has 3. So Steven Adams being there, getting some rebounds away from him is obviously affected Zion's DraftKings scoring. And hi, Chips. Chips farted again. It smells so bad. So yeah, I'm not here for cash.
So you like Brandon Ingram for GPPs a lot, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I like them both. Yeah. I mean, I always love BI.
Okay.
I'm always high on him, especially for tournaments. He always goes underowned. Always, always, always.
So you don't think Lonzo Ball now enters the picture as a cash option now that we know he's going to be playing full starter minutes at 5.3K?
No.
You don't? Okay.
Nope.
I think he's a last piece. I think he's viable. That is, okay. If you land on him as a last piece, I definitely think he's going to enter the picture. I think his ownership's going to shoot up here pretty significantly. About 32 to 34 minutes is what we should expect, I think. What?
So they said he's playing full starter minutes?
He's not on the minute restriction anymore, is what they said.
All right. If he plays 36 minutes, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't hate him as a last piece, but I'm not going out of my way to get him in cash.
Okay.
Like, I'd rather go to Ingles at 4,700 if that's my
Or
option.
DeJounte Murray or somebody like that.
Well, that's a little price discrepancy.
You're right. No, you're right.
I am right.
Okay. So, any more okay, there's one more guy I want to talk about. Halliburton, $4,800, 29 minutes, 11.7%. This guy's a beast. Fantasy point per minute wise, he's averaging close to a fantasy point per minute, but he's projected at 29. He should easily hit value, right? You consider him cash viable?
Yeah, if you want to go there at 4,800, you can. I just don't know. I'm so set on my ways with the guys that I want that I'm not really even considering any of these other guys. Like, I wouldn't hate.
Sorry,
What?
I misread it. Lonzo Ball won't have a minute limit if he plays Friday. Okay, so that was a stupid update. I apologize. If he plays. Sorry, I didn't expect such a stupid update.
Okay.
Yeah, if he sits, then it changes everything. Thank you, Sano.
Okay. So yeah, like I had a lineup with Bagley earlier that I don't hate at 5,800. So if you're landing on Halliburton, sure, like as the last piece, that's fine. But again, I have some other guys that I really want to roster tonight that I think make more sense in cash.
Hassan Whiteside, $3,000, playing an extreme amount of minutes in this game. TJ, 15 minutes. What are your thoughts? All right, let's move on. So we are waiting now.
He's gonna go off for 35.
He's still, yeah, for sure.
He gets minutes.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
We are waiting on just the Lonzo Ball news, correct? Who else is
well,
questionable?
D'Lo's questionable. Embiid's questionable technically.
I forgot about Embiid, man.
Nance is questionable.
Why do you say technically? Is Embiid leaning towards probable?
He'll play.
Back tightness. Imagine being questionable for back tightness. Imagine.
He hit the floor pretty hard, actually.
Yeah, he did. And did you see how LeBron didn't help him up at all? He just walked away.
LeBron kind of shoved him. He didn't shove him. That's dramatic.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, he shoved him. Like,
you're gonna get roasted if you say that.
Why?
Because people love LeBron in here.
LeBron's trash.
Oh no, you just earned yourself
LeBron's trash.
Yep. I didn't say that. All right. Let's bring it all together, TJ. Right now it is 6:02, so we have about 20 more minutes. Let's talk some GPP plays. I think I mentioned a lot of my favorite ones. A lot of those Pelicans, TJ. If they can keep that close, flip that on the other side of the ball here. Giannis always in the mix. 6.5% owned, 10.8% owned. Chris Middleton, even Brook Lopez, 3.4% at 5.2K. Definitely gonna have to be in the game at some point, right? Because he's gonna have to match up versus these big guys. Love all the Milwaukee Bucks for GPPs. I love the Pelicans. I love that game, the target in general. Looking at Denver, we have Jokic, whatever. 15.1% owned at 10.1K. That's another price tag that came down, TJ. Jokic, a fantastic GPP option. Both those guys are spend ups. We got a lot of love in the comments for Joel Embiid at 9.4K. I think that passes the eye test.
very
A
cheap.
very good,
Yeah,
and all those
100%.
guys in general. Look at these price tags. Tobias Harris at 6.8K. Ben Simmons at 7.7. You got a discount and an uptick in the pace here versus Minnesota. Those are my favorite GPP options that we haven't covered yet. Do you have anybody else that comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, if Embiid's out, obviously Simmons and Tobias Harris become super chalk. So we have to keep an eye on that, Matt. Bradley Beal at 4% ownership right now going up against Atlanta is a fantastic matchup for him. So I like him at tournaments. All these expensive guys are really coming under the radar. Like, Matt, why not take a chance tonight on a guy like Kawhi or Paul George coming back from COVID? Both of them showing less than 2% ownership. I feel like Kawhi always falls by the wayside in terms of DFS, so I wouldn't mind taking a chance
Why
there
is he
tonight
10K?
as long as there isn't anything with a minute restriction.
Yeah.
He's 10K because he's nasty.
Oh, he's nasty. He's better than LeBron, right?
He's a wagon. Yeah, Kawhi's better than LeBron, 100%. You can take one guy. I'm taking Kawhi. And with that being said, Matt, let's cash. No. So yeah, Westbrook at 9K, like he's such a wild card and a whirlwind, but like that's really cheap for him, especially if he isn't on a minute limit. Like he can pay that price tag off pretty easily and get a triple double. Capella is a good one at 8,900, showing low ownership. De'Aaron Fox is a good one, showing 1% ownership. I don't know what you have De'Aaron Fox at in terms of ownership.
Yeah, I recommended him on their cheat sheet.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Van Vliet and Siakam, like Lowry, if those guys are all going to be underowned, I like all of them. They're all very cheap. Trying to see what else I'd like here, Matt. DeMar, I mean, if you want to consider DeMar a cash option, then I completely agree with you there. Who else do we have here, Matthew?
Al Horford, we got a lot of questions on him. Did you think last game was an outlier?
Was it a fluke? Larry Nance game time decision. I don't think necessarily. I mean, Al Horford can get it done. With that being said, would I go back there at 5.9? If you're looking at tournaments, sure, I don't hate it.
Good
but
matchup.
not somebody that I'm going out of my way. Yeah, it's a very good matchup against DeAndre Jordan and Perry or whoever comes off the bench for them. So I don't hate it. Yeah, I think you can go there for tournaments if you like. I talked about this last time, Matt, with Anthony Edwards. If D'Lo is out again, I wouldn't hate him as a tournament play. So yeah, I think there's some really good value tonight, especially in a large slate like this. And a lot of the ownership is, focusing on a couple teams.
Minutes updated on Powell. 34 minutes.
36. Yeah, see, I think he plays more than that, honestly, if this game's competitive.
0.8 times 34. He's trash. Okay. That's all I wanted to see. Is this the one player you're going to be stubborn on? It is, isn't it?
Dude, he's not gonna play 34 minutes.
Yep.
He's gonna play.
Here we go.
This game's competitive. He plays 38. I will make a bet with you.
I don't care how many minutes he plays. He's still trash. Are you going to be stubborn on him is my question.
Look at his last 3 games with somebody out.
Okay.
Look at him.
I'm looking. 41, 43, 32, 31.75. It's a pace-up matchup. He averages 0.8 fantasy points per minute. He's played 37, 40, and 41. And you're saying he's going to do that again, correct?
I'm just saying, with a significant piece out like we've seen over the last 4 games against Miami, Indiana twice, and Milwaukee, he's been very good, and he's logged a lot of minutes for them. So I'm not sitting here saying Norman Powell for cash, but I think his ownership is going to come up, and if you do want to roster him, I can get behind you on it. Okay. I'd rather go to a guy like Van Vliet, though.
Okay, that was my only question.
Does that tickle your fancy?
It does.
Van Vliet shot 3 of 17 against the Bucks and still finished fire. At 8K, at 7,900, he finished with 46.7.
No, and my take on Sacramento. These guys are trash. They don't play any defense. It should be competitive. They're only a 5-point favorite.
This game could easily shoot out, and we could see an absolutely absurd number of points. I'm trying to think of when they played, because I know they played this year. Yeah, it was on. It was that was the game that Toronto put up 144 points against them 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments. Okay, so everybody agrees with you. They think Powell is a monster. I think he's good. I just think there's better plays. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna prefer, like you said, Van Vliet, even Lowry over these guys. Yeah. All right. Let's bring it all together. Let's bring all of our opinions together. TJ, do you want to go ahead and give away the cash core now, or do you want to wait on that?
No, we can do that.
Okay.
I mean, Powell's not gonna be my cash core, but if I land there.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. If you had to start 4 players right now, who are you locking in?
As long as those Zeller minutes don't fluctuate, Matt, with that
That's
quote
that's what I was just looking at.
from the coach of Charlotte, I still have him at 27. So if he's playing 27, I do like him at 4K. Love Kyrie, obviously, with KD out at 8,700. I love Gobert again at 7,500. I love Ingles at 4,700.
Okay.
I love Clarkson
All right,
at
well, there's 5.
6,400. I
Yep.
love Conley at 6K. Gordon Hayward at 7K.
Yep.
I love that Utah value. I love Kyrie, obviously, and then Zeller.
Okay.
That's where I'm at. And then that's without the updated ownership on
Right.
guys like Van Vliet, Siakam, Lowry, Powell.
Okay. So would you prioritize any of the Toronto guys over the Utah guys? That's a good question.
That's a really good question. No, because I think the significance of Mitchell being out is more did I say significance already?
Yeah, you said significant twice.
Significance
It's all good.
of Mitchell being out is greater than a guy like OG being out. But I also think the price tags for Toronto on those studs coming down does make them viable. So if I'm stuck between like Gobert and Conley, Gobert and Fred VanVleet, I probably just would cry instead of pick one.
Okay.
But yeah, I do like I like the Toronto guys, but I think I like the Utah guys a little more so.
Okay. Well, guess what? I will disagree. I just think there's more upside here from these Raptors, given the defense. I love the matchup so much more. But I still do like Utah, guys. I do not hate Utah. I just am going to prefer like somebody like VanVleet. I think you need to start your build with VanVleet personally. Go Joe Ingles as another cash lock. Kyrie Irving is still a must, TJ, in my opinion. And I will.
Norman Powell is now questionable.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, then take everything I just said back.
So we know what normally happens in these types of situations when a guy
gets
added to the injury report late. Yeah, you were Matt, and I do agree with you on that Sacramento. Going up against that Sacramento.
I think there's a lot of upside there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think these guys are going to shoot up. I mean, I'll tell you now, my builds are going to consist of Utah and Toronto guys. Like those are the 2 teams that I'm really honing in on and trying to get Kyrie in there. Obviously, that's my game plan.
Yeah.
But, if I'm going to go ahead and take off Norman Powell now because
Powell being questionable this late, he's going to play probably, right? I think we can assume that.
I don't know.
I really do.
We've seen so many guys get added to the injury report late like this, Matt, and it's never a good sign. We have a really limited sample size too if Powell and OG are both out. So
Stanley Johnson time. Don't hate that.
Yeah, I mean, a guy like Stanley Johnson would probably start, honestly. So let's look at the last 2 seasons with Powell and OG out because they didn't really have any significant missing pieces. Amanda just left to go to dinner with her girlfriends, and Chips is crying. Come on, Chips, it's man night. We're gonna do guy things.
Yeah, like DFS.
Beef jerky and drink beer and talk about basketball.
All right, well then we'll come back to the cash core. Let's go over some questions, guys. Right now we are pinning Powell. We just got up to 328 viewers. Our all-time viewer.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Limit. Our all-time viewership. What's the word I'm looking for? Why can't I think of words?
I don't know. I don't know.
Record.
I don't know what you're looking for.
380.
Man,
380.
Record. You forgot.
Poll.
You forgot. A lot of words tonight, man.
I was on the roll and you threw me off. The Powell news. They threw me off. 380 is our record. If we can break 380, we're going to give away a $25 giveaway. Also, I'm giving away $25 anyway. I'm going to announce that at the very end of the stream because it's Friday.
Ew.
We do a $25 giveaway. I already have the winner picked out from our YouTube comments. Yep. Already. I'm way ahead of you guys.
YouTube.com/Matt.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the Discord now. I'm gonna look at some questions here. Go ahead and monitor the YouTube chat.
Okay.
The Osmo stream went down. That sucks. All right.
Welcome everybody. We are Osmo's fathers. Matt and I can join. High five, Matt. You got any Discord questions? I hate when you go quiet because I don't know what you're doing.
I'm laughing. What is the max you would leave on the table tonight in a cash build? 49,500 is the max I usually leave over. I don't know if TJ you agree with that.
Yeah, so that's safe. I think 500 is a decent number that you can leave on the floor.
Yeah. Theo, if starting, or is that Malden or Meldon, whatever his name is?
Yep.
Or would you rather play the Brooklyn value? Ooh, that's a good question. TJ, what do you think? I'm gonna give that to you.
I'd probably rather go Theo if he is starting. I just think the Brooklyn value is an unknown. It's a question mark, right? So I mean, we don't know who if you got to choose between TLC and Bruce Brown and you pick wrong and, one goes for 9 DraftKings points and the other goes for 23, you're just going to be like, oh man, I'm an idiot. And I don't want to go through that pain. It's pain that I know all too well.
Especially against OKC, right? So
Yes.
I think Theo, you agree with that? Theo's going to be the answer for that. All right.
Yep.
How's this for a 200 to 300 man GPP? It's going to be DeJounte Murray, Malden, Hayward, Siakam, Jokic, Irving, Bruce Brown, Zeller. I don't hate that build. I actually like it. I think it's a good GPP. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, thoughts on Seth Curry against Minnesota? Yes. I do like any of those players in the pace-up matchup. I think any one of those guys could have a ceiling game. They are absolutely trash on defense with a good pace. Yep, absolutely agree with you. What about Drummond tonight for cash? No. Not Drummond, especially only playing about 28 minutes. I think he's been playing about 25 to 28 minutes since Jarrett Allen has entered the mix. He's still a
monster regardless.
He is.
It's a good matchup against the
but
Knicks,
not cash viable.
There's some better plays.
Yeah. Solid for cash.
He's cheap, though.
Kyrie.
Reed's questionable now. Nas Reed.
Great. Kyrie, Clarkson, TLC, PJ Washington, Gobert, VanVleet, DeRozan, Zeller. If PJ Washington's actually playing a lot more minutes, I don't hate that. Yeah, overall, I like that build. I'll just say yes. TLC's going to be very low owned, though. Thoughts on FanDuel? Single entry Bledsoe, Fox, VanVleet, Clarkson, Siakam, Ingles, Gordon, Joe Johnson, and Gobert. Joe Johnson, huh? Very interesting. I will say yes. That's not that bad of a build. If that's a single entry big GPP. Cash, Kyrie, Bruce Brown, Ingles, Hayward.
I think he means James Johnson from Dallas.
Okay, he said Joe. Okay, so
I think he means James.
Kyrie, Bruce Brown.
Joe Johnson is retired last time I checked.
I didn't know if there was another one. That's honestly why I hesitated. I was like, wait, do I not know of another Joe?
Wait, Joe Johnson's still in the league?
It's a very common name. All right, Kyrie, Bruce Brown, Ingles, Hayward, Gobert, Conley, Harris, VanVleet. I like that, actually. For cash, it's not bad. That's actually going to be that might be optimal. Oh, no, Harris is in there. Yep. No, get Harris out of there. He's not very good. He's going to be better for GPPs. GPP, Kyrie, VanVleet, Ingles, Collins, Zeller. Spell that with an X. That's not an X, it's a Z. SGA, Edwards, Halliburton. Don't like Edwards, and I don't like SGA. I like
Edwards if D'Lo's out.
I don't like SGA ever. That's very contrarian. Make sure that's a big GPP, first of all. All right, go TJ.
Perfect. Let's see what we got in the tube. This light that I have, which is my second phone, is just it's not even in my
mine's
face.
Like a sun.
Matt, I'm seeing everybody say Hayward and that you're trash. Okay. Still like Powell, Zeller, Norman Powell. Norman Powell, no questionable, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Would you recommend Lowry and Boucher or VanVleet and Steven Adams? I'd go VanVleet and Steven Adams.
I agree.
Lonzo not in yet? Yeah, Nick, thank you. Horford, question mark. Horford was fantastic last game. Wouldn't mind going there again, but maybe a last piece in a tournament. When are you going to hit the update on Patreon, Matthew?
I'm going to update the Patreon just after the stream. Oh, no, we need 14 more viewers, guys. 14.
He can't stream and update at the same time because Matt is not very good at multitasking.
I'll be taking away from the content.
One thing, he is absolutely flawless. How you feel about Luka? Tournament play, Ace?
Absolutely.
I do like him. Always like him. Maladon, we talked about. I don't hate him as the last piece, but I do think there is some better value. What about Whiteside? Seems like a solid value, CW said. Matt, you can answer that. That is your guy.
Sorry, who?
Hassan.
Yeah, just GPP. He could play more than 15 minutes. If he does, we know he's a very efficient player.
Favorite stack tonight? I think we can agree, Matt, that it's going to be Utah.
Yes, or Toronto if what's-his-face doesn't play.
Yep, especially if Powell's out, yeah. Yep. I was getting crap because I said LeBron sucks. Guys, LeBron's obviously nasty. I was kidding. But so no knows. Tatum over LeBron, I like that. And MJ over LeBron. Embiid hit really hard. He is Mr. Class. He probably sits. Yeah, DV8. If Embiid's out, that shakes things up even more with guys like Simmons at 7,700, which is absurd. And then Tobias Harris, too, at 6,800. Dwight Howard probably comes in the mix. Unfortunately, we have to deal with that dilemma. Mm-hmm. Maybe some Tony Bradley. Let's see here. Finney Smith over under 7.5. If that's points, like Devin, I wouldn't even touch that. I don't even know what to tell you there.
Pause real quick, guys. We're at 361. We need 19 more viewers to break the all-time record of 380, which is what we had 3 weekends ago, maybe. So if we get to 380, we're going to give away another $25.
Yeah, I'll give away $20 if we get up to 400. Got to hit that like button, guys, to get some more people.
That's 70 potential bucks on the table, guys.
People are getting very upset with me that I said Kawhi's better than LeBron. Guys, LeBron is not better than Kawhi. No, of course he is.
Ooh,
Of course he is.
that's a debate.
John Collins against Washington for tournaments. I like it. Powell's a monster. Powell's a bucket. He is a bucket. Zion's a safe play. Yep, I think Zion is a safe play for cash if you're looking there, but I just don't think he goes higher than, 40, 45 rather. Zion or Fred VanVleet, Matt. I think we can both agree VanVleet.
Yep. More upside.
Keep singing, TJ. I got you, Anker. Drummond smash. Yeah, Knicks. It's a good matchup for Drummond. He's going to be a good tournament play. Trae Young or Kyrie. Kyrie for cash. Trae Young for tournaments. DK Cash, Matt. We got Kyrie, Jordan Clarkson, Ingles, Hayward, Zeller, DeJounte Murray, Bruce Brown, and Jokic. I don't hate that. I think Jokic is going to be pretty low owned in terms of
He's a great price, though. Great price tag.
D'Lo will play, so that's good. So that means I'm out on Anthony Edwards.
Oh, no. Viewer count's going down. We're losing hope.
Naz Reid's still questionable. Okay. Powell not questionable. Yeah.
We're not going to get it, guys. We're getting hammered.
Boucher tournaments, always. The minutes haven't really been there, but yeah, I always like Boucher for tournaments. You can always. Naz Reid, still a game time decision. Come on, man. Stanley Johnson time. Yeah, if Powell's out, then sure, you can fire up Stanley Johnson if you want to. I probably won't, but I wouldn't hate it. GPP lineup now. We got Conley, Beal, Brown, Collins, Capella, Walker from San Antonio, TLC, and Hayward. It's very contrarian, Kenny.
Very contrarian. Don't hate it, though.
Lowry and Boucher or VanVleet and Steve. We answered that, Adam. DG Fantasy #1. Thank you, Decoy. Appreciate that. Osmo stream went down. Everyone who came over here. So we're just like Osmo's B team, I guess, Matt. Thank you, Barrett.
B team.
All-time high. Yeah, Marshall. Matt can't
That's a dig.
And do things at the same time. People saying they haven't been here in a while. How's it going, Chill Ones 3Ls? Thanks for coming by, man. It's hot in here now and no Nelly. Okay, Tim. So we see you, Tim. Me and Matt just carrying the flames. Two couple handsome guys talking hoops. They were talking about stocks, maybe. Adam, we answered. Oh, you want reasoning on VanVleet and Steven Adams over Lowry and Boucher? Okay. Steven Adams, more concrete minutes. VanVleet looks better with OG off the floor.
1.3 fantasy points per minute.
Points per minute.
Yep.
And Boucher is kind of a wild card. So if you're doing tournaments, you can go with that first. But if you're doing cash, go VanVleet, Steven Adams.
Boucher gets like 24 to 30 minutes, and it's anywhere in between there. It's crazy.
Super volatile. 3 Pelicans in tournaments. Let's go, said Green Wizard. Okay, Green. Okay. Brooklyn's in the house. Kuzma, a bad play again. What's Smitty? We didn't say Kuzma's a bad play. I don't understand that.
We didn't.
I called Kuzma a lock when he was starting.
I did too when he was starting.
We'll rewatch it. So I don't know about that. Matt said he was trash, but keep me out of that.
Whoa! I never said that. Whoa! Hey! We are not JV Awesemo. First of all, guys, just you wait. Give it a month or two. Am I right, TJ?
He said JV Awesemo, but better than varsity. Thank you, Smitty.
Oh, okay.
D'Lo playing. Yeah, Showtime. Thank you, man. Cavs fan and have to say Jordan is better than LeBron. Wow, Smitty. Irving Harden stack. Who would you stack from OKC besides Shy? I honestly don't hate. I think a Kyrie Harden stack is going to be actually pretty different, Matt. I honestly don't hate it. I could see both those guys smashing value. I know you think that kind of hinders your upside if you take 2 studs in the same game. But I honestly don't hate giving it a shot, especially with Kyrie being so cheap. If I had to take somebody back on the other side, Lou Dort's kind of intriguing at 4,400.
Right.
Going up against Harden. He could easily clamp Harden like he did. No, I don't think he actually clamped Harden last year in the playoffs. But
I got some questions in here.
Go ahead.
Ladies, let me check the Discord here. All right, let's get
ladies. Let's see.
Where's the ladies at? All right, do you guys think
you gotta update Patreon? Everybody hates Chris is really adamant on you updating Patreon. Can you stream and update Patreon, please?
Guys,
Matt will get to the
I promise it's about 3 minutes. And the thing with NBA is that we gotta wait till the very last second with all the updates and injury news. You just have to be patient with me, all right?
Yep.
Right now, you guys can technically start building lineups given the information. Do you guys think PG and Kawhi could get minutes restrictions? Yes, I do think that they can because they're coming back from
not tournaments.
Yep. Okay. Showed up late. Can Giannis or Beal outscore Harden tonight? Absolutely. Giannis could easily outscore Harden tonight. Harden does have a very high ceiling. That being said, Beal not so. If I had to rank those 3, TJ, I think I would say.
No, you're good, Chris. Just giving you a
Harden,
Go on, Matt.
Giannis, Beal. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. In terms of ceilings, yeah. Yeah, I'd say that.
Yep.
I
All
agree
right,
with you there.
go ahead. You're good. Powell out.
Powell's
Powell out.
out.
Let's go. Van Vliet. Load up Van Vliet. Playing with confidence.
Yeah.
High
Probably
ceiling.
give
Get
me
Sacramento.
VanVleet.
Let's go.
So Matt, I was looking at the court IQ from the last 2 years with Lowry. Where are you?
Throwing it
VanVleet?
back 2 years, huh?
Well, yeah, because the sample size from this year is pretty minimal, and the turnover from Toronto from last year and this year is minimal as well. I feel like
Okay.
they just lost Gasol and Ibaka. So unfortunately, Matt, Van Vliet has the lowest fantasy point per minute out of these guys.
Okay. That's a turnaround.
Yeah, Siakam's actually over the last 2 years in 220 minutes with Powell, OG, and obviously Ibaka off the floor. You know what? Let's try something here. Let's keep Ibaka on and see what we get.
Why would you keep Ibaka on?
Because I just want to see.
What you could do. Who's the starting lineup for Toronto? Can you read that off for me?
I don't know. I don't know if Stanley Johnson's going to start.
Fudge.
I would
Okay.
assume. What's up?
Because we can see how these guys play together.
On the
Let's do that.
Let's
Let's do Lowry, Van Vliet,
We're
Siakam.
gonna just do Lowry, Siakam, and Van Vliet
That's what I
on
just
the
said.
floor
Okay.
with Powell and OG off, and see what we got.
That's what I'm saying.
80 minutes. We got Siakam at a 1.15. See, but that's with Ibaka. All right, Ibaka, you're
trash.
not on this team.
Okay, I have 13 minutes. Yeah. So, well, that was a fail. Do I have do I have a button to like press for fails? No.
That's what she said.
That's my that's what she said button. Do I have anything else? I literally just have my that's what
That's what she said.
this is my only button.
That's what she said.
Yeah, so nothing
That's what
really
she
pops.
said.
I still think you're gonna want one of these guys in cash, whether it's Van Vliet or Siakam or Lowry. Honestly, I want to wait and see what the ownership is and who jumps in the starting lineup. I would think it's Stanley Johnson, but I'm not too sure. But that would
That's
be my
tough.
guess. So
Lowry's showing more ownership now.
Stanley Johnson at 3,900. I think we're gonna get some questions there, Matt. Like, I guess I wouldn't hate him as a last piece, but I would still have far greater interest in guys like Van Vliet, Siakam, and Lowry.
I think people are gonna gravitate towards the lower price tags from these guys. That being said, Lowry or Siakam, Van Vliet's even though he's still cheap, $7,500. I think that's where the chalk's gonna go, TJ.
Well, I still don't know about Bunyan Boy and his bunions and what's going on with those bunions. So, he has his bunions still on his feet. The bunions are going
That's
on.
what
with
she
Lowry.
said.
Okay.
So, we have to wait and see what's going on. But yeah, no, Matt, I prioritize Van Vliet and Siakam. Siakam at 7,300, man, just is starting to look like a lock to me, honestly.
Another update.
But
What is it?
That's the Magic starting lineup. So
Magic acquires Zion in a 3-team deal.
why are you the way that you are? We'll probably get some Terrence Davis questions too. I don't really like him. I don't really see a lineup in which they run Van Vliet, Lowry, and Terrence Davis on the floor at the same time. So I don't really think this affects a guy like Terrence Davis's minutes. I think it affects a guy like Utah's minutes, who's projected at 12. I think he could play like 18-ish. And then Stanley Johnson, projected at 18, could probably play like 30-ish. So that'd be my guess as to what they do. I think Stanley Johnson starts and gets 30 minutes.
We got to cut off the stream here and give our cash core, and then I got to go update Patreon. Unfortunately, guys, thanks for tuning in. Let's end it on that note. TJ, cash core, I want 4 to 5 players that you got to lock in right now. Gun to your head.
4 to 5 players that I would have to lock in right now for cash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stick with what I know. I'm going to say Kyrie, Gobert, Ingles, one of Clarkson and Conley.
Okay.
And then Zeller.
Okay.
And that is without even knowing and where my head's going to be at with this Toronto pitcher. Like, if you have Siakam or Van Vliet in there too, love it. So,
yeah.
Like, it's a mid-tier kind of night.
It's tough.
So all
it
those
really
studs,
is.
tournaments.
I'm locking in Kyrie. I'm locking in Cody Zeller. I'm locking in Joe Ingles. Those are your given players. And then it's going to be, where do you spend up after that? It's going to be Kyle Lowry, Van Vliet, Siakam. Gun to my head, I'm taking the cheapest one. TJ, I'm going to go... I'm going to go Lowry because of ownership for cash.
I'm honestly, he's my least favorite out of those three.
Okay. And I don't hate that. I
Right.
I hate the fact that I like him, but you know what?
Yeah, I hate the fact that you like him.
I hate the fact that you like none last night, so we can hate each other. That's fine. But those are going to be my locks for tonight right now. Given the ownership, given what we know right now, and we will be updating everything inside the Discord, guys. So if you want to join, $20 a month. We will be also doing our mini live stream a little bit later.
Come hit us. Come hit us in the Discord. If you're not a member, link is below. We'll be updating throughout the night, also answering questions. So you can find that link below.
All right, guys. With all that being said, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your weekend, and let's cash.
Good luck, guys.